welcome back to the channel. Aside from and strong and in this video, let's explore what is the authentic, breathtaking, and inspiring experience of fishing, a profession of survival. On deck, everyone is in position, every line, every net is carefully checked. In the stormy ocean, they have to coordinate like a precision machine. There is no room for error. The work is hard, the pressure is high. But with experience and team spirit, they gradually pull the net up, carrying with them the hope of a bountiful catch. And then, when the net began to be pulled onto the deck, the whole team put all their efforts into the most important stage. Each person had a position, each movement had to be precise, because even the slightest mistake could cause the net to tear or the fish to escape. The rope was hundreds of meters long, the rope connecting people to the seabed. Step by step, meter by meter of net was brought back through the system of high-capacity tractors, preparing to open up an unforgettable scene, a scene of fish pouring out of the net and filling the hole. Waves are still pouring, wind is still howling, but on the deck is true. The net is open, fish pour out like water, like quest created. It is not just the result of the day's work, the sweet strength and on large capacity fishing boats, human power is fully supported by modern machinery. The winch and pulley system operates at full capacity, slowly pulling the heavy net, carrying tons of fish from the deep ocean. Each mesh of the net is soaked with seawater, each chain squeals, all creating a symphony of power and technology. This is not just fishing, but an art of operation between man and machine, between nature and man. Finally, the net was pulled up onto the deck, heavy, sparkling with the silver light of thousands of fresh fish. Hands quickly opened the net, each net opened, and then, fish poured into the hold like a full rain. The sound of falling fish mixed with the sound of the engine, the shouts, creating a bustling symphony in the middle of the ocean. A bountiful catch, not only the result of machinery, but also the crystallization of experience, coordination, and faith in the sea.
அதில் என்னென்ன மீன்லாம் பிடிச்சோம். அப்புறம் ஆழ்கடலில் இது ரொம்பவே குறைவாக இருந்துச்சு. உங்களுக்கு சுற்றி கடலை பார்க்கும்போது தெரியும் கடலோட அளவு எப்படி இருக்குன்னு பாருங்க. இப்போ கடலில் முதல் கட்ட வலையை வந்து விட்டு முடிச்சிங்க. அடுத்து ரெண்டாவது கட்ட வலையை வந்து விடுறாங்க. இப்போ முதல் கட்ட வலையோட கடைசி ரேடார் தறி வந்து மாட்டி பாருங்க. நம்ம கடலில் விட்ட வலையை கண்டுபிடிக்க ரேடார் அப்புறம் மாட்டல் கடலில் முதல் கட்ட வலையை விட்டு முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் ரெண்டாவது கட்ட வலையை விட்டு இருக்காங்க. அப்புறம் கடலில் இருட்ட ஸ்டேஜ்.
It's not just the big ships that can conquer the sea. In another corner of the ocean, local Indian fishermen are also quietly making a living with simple means and traditional experience. After many hours of casting their nets, they return to the marked location. Each net is pulled up manually, without any machinery, only their callous hands, and the hope of a full catch of fish. As soon as the net is lifted from the water, the fish shine under the deep blue light of the ocean, a big catch full of fish struggling in the net. It is a simple but touching joy from people who cling to the sea with resilience and love for the job. And here was the reward for a long journey at sea. A giant swordfish, stuck tightly in the net, its muscular body, its long, sharp nose, a symbol of speed and power in the ocean. It took the skillful coordination of many fishermen to pull the fish neatly onto the deck. Each net loop removed, each firm grip, not just an operation, but the result of experience accumulated over many generations. Amidst the blue of the ocean and the sweat-soaked deck, the big fish returned to the hold, heavy, precious, and full of pride. The arms still tightly grip the rope, eyes following every movement of the net, not loosening even for a second. Under the fading afternoon sun, the sea surface seemed to be covered with a layer of silver, and on the small boat, were people drenched in sweat but radiant with joy. Another catch of fish was brought up, another successful day in the heart of the ocean. No noise, no fanfare, just the children of the sea, quietly fighting, and quietly winning. Before our eyes was a breathtaking scene. Two giant nets, weighing tons, were being lifted up gradually, filled with tens of thousands of struggling fish inside. And then, streams of fish poured into the hold like a lively, non-stop waterfall. The sound of fish falling, the sound of the lines rustling, the sound of waves crashing, all blended together like a victorious symphony in the heart of the ocean. This was not just the result of a fishing trip, but a symbol of the faith and determination in people living with the sea, living for the sea. In the quiet night of the ocean, the ship's lights shone down on the deep water. There, the last shadows of swordfish caught in the net began to appear. Each giant struggling desperately, then slowly being pulled up. The atmosphere became suffocating, tense and thrilling with each pull. But the fishermen, still silently, persistently, used all their strength to complete the last catch in the dark night. And then, the fish were on board, huge, precious, shining under the lights, marking the end of a day of arduous but glorious labor. The last swordfish lay on the deck, its eyes gone, but still exuding the majesty of the seaboard. And the fishermen, with their calloused hands, bare feet, and steely wills, won the silent battle at the bottom of the ocean. No audience, no spotlight, just waves, sweat, and wordless perseverance. Every catch, every scratch, is a chapter in the story of making a living at sea. giant swordfish, symbols of the ocean's power, are now being put into cold storage, preparing for the return journey. One by one, weighing hundreds of kilograms, they are carefully lowered, as if to preserve a part of the ocean's soul. On the faces of each fisherman at this moment is fatigue, but mixed with a radiant look of joy. Joy after a fair fight between humans and nature, and this time, humans have won. When it was late at night, the harbor lights flickered in the darkness. The fisherman's boat finally returned, carrying the fruits of the journey across the vast sea and sky. Each big fish was brought ashore. Each step was busy but joyful. No more wind and waves, no more rumbling engines, only the joy of a successful fishing day. After many hours of fishing, and after being carefully preserved for cold storage, the giant swordfish are now being pulled out one by one, preparing to be brought to land. Each cold, shiny fish body is living proof of a wordless war between humans and nature. Every cut, every hook stroke, every pull is imprinted on the fish body, as well as deeply engraved in the memories of the children of the sea. The giant fish were taken out of the cold storage one by one, neatly arranged on the deck, each fish body shining like the spoils of war after a fierce war. And then, the ship docked. Under the lights of the fish market, hundreds of large fish lay side by side, ready for the next journey, to the market, to the kitchen, to the dinner table of many families. A large school of fish was spotted moving near the surface. Golden opportunity when it landed. Immediately, the fishermen deployed their nets, each circle tightened. Each meter of net dropped at inverted speed. The sea surface began to boil. Fish thrashed violently. The water splashed wildly. The battle was beginning, without gunfire, without smoke, but as fierce and thrilling as any battle. Will this net bring success? Let's wait and see. The net had just tightened when suddenly, the water surface began to boil violently. It was not a normal school of fish, but a giant black shadow was thrashing violently below. All the fishermen immediately focused, straining to hold the net, and then appeared a huge blue shark, caught in the net while hunting among the school of fish. Its strength was terrifying. Just one thrashing caused the water to splash white and the whole boat to shake. But with close coordination and extensive experience, the fishermen were still gradually controlling the situation, avoiding tearing the net and protecting the safety of the whole team. The giant shark, now fully exposed, its back covered with white spots, several meters long, like a silent king of the ocean, trapped. It struggled frantically, each splash of water like small waves crashing straight into the side of the boat. The fishermen stood close to the side, holding their breath to observe. No one dared to be subjected, because even a tail slap could be dangerous. But they did not panic. No one tried to kill it, because they understood this shark was not an enemy, but just a creature that had strayed into the net in its own way of life. Back to the fishing trip, the giant tuna has just been hooked. weighing up to hundreds of kilograms. It struggled violently right at the edge of the boat. The whole team immediately took action, each person in a position, coordinating rhythmically as if they had practiced hundreds of times. Each hook, each pull, each decisive shout, all demonstrated the professionalism and bravery of the work. It was not easy, but they still did it, because that is what they chose, to live with the sea, fighting every day to bring the ocean's treasures back to land. Immediately after being pulled up, the fish will be inspected, classified, and processed right on the boat. Time is of the essence, because to maintain freshness, every operation must be done quickly and accurately. Each tuna is brought into the processing area, where experience and speed are vital factors. The net had just been pulled up, and the water was pouring down like a cold sea rain. The fish were crowded together in each mesh of the net, shimmering silver in the early morning sun, flapping in despair. Immediately, the fishing team began to remove the fish, a step that required dexterity, patience, and extreme meticulousness. Amidst the tangled nets and thousands of tangled fish, they still worked like a programmed machine, each hand. Each movement was surprisingly proficient. Behind them, the calls of seabirds were repeating calls, as if blending into the wordless, rhythmic work of the ocean. From the small boat, fish began to be dumped into the hold, with the unanimous shouts, with the pulling force of dozens of hands exerting their strength. There were no modern machines, only camaraderie, good coordination, and a spirit of selfless work. Each pull, each batch of fish was a joy, no loud cheers, but everyone's eyes shone with satisfaction. This is the most beautiful picture of the fishing profession, where each fish not only has economic value, but also contains human love and gratitude to the ocean. On high-speed fishing boats, everything happens in a split second. The fish is hooked and immediately, the crew is in position. The fish is thrashing violently against the side of the boat, water is splashing, waves are pounding. But the line is tight, and each firm pull is gradually bringing it out of the deep sea. Today's trip ended with a smile, simple, but enough to warm up a day in the middle of the ocean. Each fish brought on board is not only the result of labor, but also a testament to the love of the sea and the perseverance of the children of the storm. Their journey has not stopped here. New trips, giant catches, and untold stories will continue to appear in the next videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on inspiring journeys on the ocean.ce in the next part.